Welcome to Main Street Minds with your host, Amish Munshi. This is where industry leaders and seasoned pros share their secrets to success beyond limits. Let's dive in.
Hello and welcome to the August Southern California market update, specifically Inland Empire. And it's almost end of August. We are ready to hit September. And guess what? It will be fourth quarter very soon for the next update. So tell us what's happening right in the middle of the third quarter of 2025 in Inland Empire.
Yes. So as you know, Amish, our friend Jerome Powell said that we are expecting maybe two rate drops coming into the fourth quarter of this year, as soon as September. So with that said, a lot of these buyers that have been sitting on the sidelines and waiting for this quote unquote rate drop to happen is starting to actually give me a lot of phone calls and just kind of getting their information, their ducks in a row, maybe potentially getting into the market as the fourth quarter comes. So,
Great. Yeah. And if anybody is waiting for better rates, there is always a way to make things work. If somebody believes me, I have just quoted a 4.5% interest rate to a buyer. Uh, Double asterisk, it's a 15-year loan with 50% loan to value, like uh, a refinance transaction at 4.5, but
mm,
things are possible. 30-year fixed for the same borrower is close to 5.25. So it's not terribly far.
wow, no, that's fantastic. You need to get connected with the Mish.
Yeah, and DSCR starting at 5.3, like it's crazy. The future lower rates are already factored in the mortgage rates.
Wow, that's awesome. I have a question for you, Amish. So DSCR loans, could you kind of like dive into that and give like kind of a broad general definition of what that is?
Yeah,
If you could.
so DSCR basically stands for Debt Service Coverage Ratio, right? DSCR.
Okay.
So if you see any commercial loans, they are all based on the income generated by that business or that property.
Right.
And the same is translated into a residential world, and it's called a DSCR loan, where the rental income covers the mortgage. If we think about a traditional way of qualifying, of a conventional mortgage, if the rent is $10,000, we take 75% of it and then we apply a 45 DTI to the income, which
Right.
means the person will qualify for a $3,000 or $4,000 monthly payment. Right?
Wow.
Versus on a DSCR, the entire income of 10,000 qualifies towards the mortgage payment. So if somebody was qualifying for a $3 million investment property, they will qualify for a $7 million investment property with a DSCR versus a conventional. That's the big difference.
Wow, that's so there's ways to be able to get into homes using the DSCR loan, using the rental income to help qualify for a higher, more
Yeah,
expensive homes, basically.
yeah,
Wow.
and the rates are not very different. Many times the rates are actually better on DSCR because it comes with a prepayment penalty. So you can
Hmm.
actually get a lower rate, a higher purchase price, and a lot more easier qualification for
Wow.
getting the loan.
So for the retail buyer, is this only for like, so obviously it has to be single family residential, so below 4 units. Is that correct?
DSCRs come in a variety of factors. So
Oh,
it could be condo, it could be a townhome, it could be a single family, 4 units. Till early till first quarter of this year, the same qualifications were used up to 20 units. So the same loan to values, same leverage, same scores, same qualifying factors up to 20 units. The
wow.
second quarter and the third quarter this year, that has vanished. If we are only financing up to less than 5 units
Right.
with that qualification. But it's just that there are other loan programs available for 5 to 20 units and even higher.
Wow. So you're telling me if I am looking to buy like a condo and then it's renting for easy number like $1,000 a month,
Yeah,
I could use that to qualify
for
to
that.
buy the condo.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. And many times the loan to values could be higher. Like on a conventional loan, maybe you'll be stuck with 75% loan to value. Here you can go to 80, 85% loan to value.
Wow. So meaning less money for down payment coming out of your pocket to be able to get that condo. Is that
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
Wow.
exactly. So, and if the market is definitely soft for investment properties, it's a great time to be buying investment properties.
Wow.
Yeah. So yeah. So as we circle around and like come back to all the buyers around Inland Empire, even if you're
Yeah.
looking to buy your first home or your second home or moving, if you're able to do it, if you have the need to do it, I think it's a great time to be a buyer right now.
Yeah, yeah, we had a good conversation offline talking about a lot of buy because I'm dealing with a lot of buyers. Just their number one concern is I heard rates are going to drop, so I'm just going to wait to see rates drop until I actually get into the market.
Yeah. Yeah. So the behind the scenes on from the lending perspective,
Hmm.
lending market is layered, right? The final buyer of the loans is hedge funds, mutual funds, retirement accounts, Fannie and Freddie, they end up buying. They buy the loans from intermediate lenders in about 6 to 12 months.
Mm,
So those intermediate lenders have already factored in that the rates are going to be lower in the future. As an example, UWM is running a promotion till September 15th where they give 90 basis points better interest rate on refinance right now.
wow.
So it's a 90 basis point better rate than the market if you're doing a refinance available right now. They keep the loan for a few months and they have that they're taking the risk, right? They have the confidence that in 6 months when they have to sell this loan to Freddie and Fannie or anyone else, that they will be buying it at a lower rate
I see.
from the lender.
Wow.
So
So,
the
so
lower rates have been factored in already.
So let's paint the picture with the numbers. I mean, you said 90 basis points for refi clients right now. So rate right now, is it like 6% currently?
Yeah, yeah,
So 90 points below, what would that look like if someone was to
yeah.
refi?
Equivalent of about a 0.5% better rate, so 5.5 on a refi.
Wow. That's
So
crazy.
yeah, no need to wait.
No need to wait.
Is better is like from a lender's perspective, they're like a person has lived in that house, they have proven themselves, they have the history of making payments. Most likely, they are not selling the house or going away,
Right.
right? So they are able to trust it a little bit more, saying this loan will survive the 6 months to 12 months that they are going to hold the mortgage before selling it to the government, and they will be able to sell it to the government in 6 to 12 months.
Got it.
With
Wow.
the purchase, the lender just thinks from a different perspective, right? Like they are like, oh, if we are able to do the loan at 5.5 today, chances are when the rate is better at 5, they will refinance at 5, and the lender ends up losing the difference in rate.
Right. Okay. Now that's a good point. So refinances, since you've kind of had skin in the game,
Yeah.
they're willing to give you more. They see you as less risky versus someone purchasing a brand new home.
Yeah, risky from the lender's perspective that the loan will get paid off fast sooner.
Right.
Because at purchase, people might buy the house and then maybe again refi very quickly. But
Hmm.
somebody that did refi at a lower rate more than likely will again not refi within
Yes.
within the year.
And how long does that seasoning period have to be for the refis? Do you have to be in the house for at least a year or?
No, there is no like an owner can refinance anytime they want. The market, like the loan officer and the lender, do lose. We lose money if
Right.
a person refinances in less than 6 months.
Right. Okay.
But there is no impact to the borrower.
I see.
Yeah, so
Wow.
yeah, there is just so much that happens behind the scenes on lending. It's only when you understand like what happens in the secondary markets of a loan after the loan is originated, then all things start to make sense on why we have all these requirements upfront for the loan.
Hmm. Yeah, they're just trying to protect their investment essentially. That's like kind of the bottom line.
Yeah.
Makes
Yeah.
sense.
And I always keep thinking like as a lender, I have to bring money to a property that I don't select. I have to bring 80, 90, 95% of the money for the purchase
Right.
within 15 to 20 days on a property that I don't select, on a transaction that I know I have very little control. Once the loan is
Right.
done, I don't know what's going to happen. Am I going to be paid? Will like what will happen, like that's the reason why all these complicated requirements come up from the lender saying these are the guidelines, either you meet it or you don't. But like the lender is the one that doesn't get to take major decisions except those guidelines.
Right. That makes sense.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's a good perspective because you don't ever think about you don't ever look at it from the lender's
from the
perspective.
lender's perspective, saying, yeah,
Yeah.
like I didn't get to select the property, I didn't get to select how many days to close, I didn't get to select who gets paid how much on this transaction, but
Right.
I have to bring in 80 to 90 to 95% of the money to make the deal happen.
Yeah. It's kind of why did you get into lending, Amish?
Hey, I am a proxy, right? I'm not, I do some of my own money, but a lot is proxied to somebody else getting the money.
Right, right.
Yeah, but it's very interesting field.
Yeah, no, 100%. And it all pays off too at the end of the day. Like, I mean, everyone's buying homes, people are investing, and, I mean, the end goal is everyone wins at the end of the day.
Yeah,
The main
yeah,
thing.
exactly.
Yeah.
And then like it's amazing that all that we need is just prove that for 1 year you were doing something productive. Show me 1 year of income or 2 years of income. And based on that, I'm going to trust you for the next 30 years of your life. You're going to do the exact same thing that you have been doing and making that same amount of money for the next 30 years.
Yeah.
And I cannot question the location of the property. I cannot question the person. I cannot question uh, what are you going to do with the money? Like, is it
Yes.
being fair? Like, is it market rate? Is are you overpaying for the property, underpaying for the property?
Right.
I cannot question any of that.
Yeah. Just because of the guidelines and laws, right? Like this
Yeah.
is you're very limited on that.
It's fun, like just thinking about how like people think that it's a bad situation right now with the market, but the reality of it is like all everything that is going on, right? Like the amount of money that is being brought to the table by a lender, the speed at which that money comes in. A buyer generally takes 3 to 6 months to decide on a house. The
Right.
lender, without deciding on the house, brings 90% of the money to the table.
Yes. So it's just, yeah, it's interesting. Lenders don't really have much pull.
Yeah, and
But
then
yeah,
30 years we are like we don't know will we be paid, will we not be paid?
yeah. No, that's true. You just kind of have to blindly have faith in the money that you're lending out, and hopefully everything works out.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
just
and the owner always gets to keep majority of the profits, right?
yes. What a great business model.
Yeah, it's a very one-dimensional business model, but obviously like it's a market, right? There is advantages of being a lender, there are disadvantages of being a lender.
Right,
The lender is the last one to wire the money and the first one to get paid.
right. So yeah, it's interesting. No, that's good. Glad you kind of broke that down. I think that's really important for people to kind of to just have like almost a just
Yeah,
state of different way of looking at things. So
yeah, exactly. So
yeah.
cool. So tell us more about what's happening in the market right now. What are you seeing right now?
Yeah. So as far as like your retail buyer, which is like, your first time home buyers, there's a lot of opportunity out there. Definitely more active listings in the popular parts of Inland Empire, mainly Marietta, Temecula, Menifee, kind of that wide country area. Uh, they're calling it an emerging buyer's market.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know how long that's going to last though with rates dropping, Gabish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Buyers have to realize like this is the time to be buying. Like when people are scared and not making decisions, that's when you should be taking the risk. When things are just going crazy and like everything looks perfectly fine, saying, hey, house prices are increasing through the roof, that may really not be a good time to be buying a house.
Yeah, 100%. I uh I just remember during COVID times, just ridiculous amount of just it was a pain in the butt, Mavish. I think
Yeah,
we probably got through it a few times too, putting offers into homes, right?
yeah,
20 plus offers, non-contingent, all cash.
yeah. I remember like just even listing my property for rent, and the listing agent over there for the rental property said, Amish, is it okay if I just contact a few people I know instead of listing it because I just get too many inquiries? I'm
Wow.
like, is that the situation of the world? Obviously,
Yeah.
things for a little more stability and a little better situation. So
Yeah.
are you still seeing like some good incentives from new home builders, and has anything changed from last month?
From last month, it's about the same. I actually saw, I toured a community last week, and then they're offering a 2-1, a temporary buy down starting at 4.99 for the first year.
Oh,
So that's
nice.
pretty solid. Solar will be paid and all appliances included, and then
Nice.
landscaping in the backyard as well, front of the backyard landscaping.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's pretty good. You don't really see that too often.
Yeah.
So,
And California is a pretty safe place to be, right? Like similar things happened in Texas, and when prices started increasing, the builders actually backed out of their purchase contracts.
oh
It
yeah.
was crazy in 2020, 2021. The builders actually like they got sued like crazy. First of all, they didn't disclose a lot of things to the buyers. There
Mm,
were uh, kind of agreements between the builder and the city that property taxes will be at 2%, and then few years later the property taxes were going to go higher, and
mm.
they didn't tell the buyers about it. And so
Wow.
people qualified for a specific payment based on what they could afford, and then couple of years later their property taxes doubled.
Oh my gosh.
and and it's not cheap. Like property taxes in Texas are huge.
Yeah. And you said they got sued? A lot of the,
Builders got sued, yeah.
yeah, they had to, right?
Yeah, and there were some other builders that realized that, let's say they went under contract in 2020 or 2019 at 300,000. The properties were selling for 450, 500,000 a couple of years later, and they
Yeah.
were like they could figure out like if they could get out of that contract, they could relist the property and sell it for a much higher profit. So they were backing out of contracts with the buyers that they had to sell the property. Yeah, they also got sued for obvious
Mm.
reasons.
Oh, geez,
Yeah, there were
Louise.
times when builders did wrong things, and probably they're like going back and like paying for that right now.
Yeah. I can't say I've heard of anything like that in California.
Yeah,
That I don't think it would fly in California.
for any of this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but so I'm excited though. I'm curious to see how these incentives will change in the next couple of months,
Hmm.
considering rates dropping. But uh, I mean, so the only I'll say the reason why we haven't bought a home yet is because we have the wedding coming up, and we're just trying to be,
Yeah.
practical with how we're spending our money, obviously.
Yeah.
But these incentives are just like, hey, honey, it kind of makes you think twice about things, about how, changing the order of things. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, and honestly, many times it's okay to go ahead and buy the real estate, like but buy it at a time when it makes sense to you, right? Market dynamics could be anything that they want it to be. If it's the right time for you to buy a house, and if it's financially feasible,
right.
then go ahead buy it. But if
Mhm.
it's not make like that's way more important. The life stage is way more important than the numbers and markets.
Yes. And that's huge. I take that advice and I'll use that advice to my first time home buyers asking the same exact thing. Because
Yeah.
that's the bottom line. There's that humanity involved in being in the real estate industry. This is how you advise your clients. So
Yeah, markets change every 1 or 2 years. Markets change, right?
Mhm.
They go high, low. Rates could be lower. Rates could be higher. Selling price could be different. The rents could be different.
Right,
Everything can change. There could be a property with an HOA, and after a while there is no HOA, or
right,
an HOA comes in later. Things change.
right. Yeah, 100%. I couldn't agree more.
Yeah, so are you seeing good business opportunities right now? Like, are you, I see like you're focusing on a few more investment transactions. Are you seeing like very good business opportunities locally as well?
Yeah, definitely. So backstory, we're negotiating one, and then a lot of these owners, business owners, they're just looking to retire, 30 plus years in the game and they just want to retire. This is the time. And and I'm working with a buyer who's like young and spry, 30 years old. He's ready to come in and take this business to a whole nother level. Right.
Yeah.
And then the market timing is perfect for both ends. And yeah, I don't know, it's great. It's good to see in my end at least.
Yeah, yeah, and especially when we're dealing with a business transaction, the 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 rates on in the best of the situations could be like 6 or 7, right?
Right.
If instead of that, if it's at 9, it's and the ratio of income to the expense of the mortgage is, let's say, 20%, right? 20 to 30% of the income might be going towards mortgage payment. If
Right.
that 20 to 30% becomes 33% or 27%, the impact is not that big.
Right. 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point. And then I like that, Avish, because we're talking about DSCR loans for residential property. It's
Mhm.
almost the same sort of formula when you come to like a commercial property. You take the income from the business, you use
Yeah.
that to qualify to buy commercial property,
Yeah.
correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there is always ways to make a deal work. Like the if there is agreement between the buyer and the seller, the deal can be structured in a way that does make more sense for it to pan out.
Right. And then are you alluding to like seller financing, things of that nature, Amish,
There
or?
could be seller financing, there could be seller carry seconds, there could be like I'm looking at another assisted living place. I'm helping somebody, and the seller is carrying 20% of as a second. The primary loan is at 60%, and the buyer is bringing in 20%. In the market right now, the thing that is affecting the rate the most is the loan to value. If the loan to
Mm,
value is at 60% in this transaction, the mortgage rate is at 7 for an
wow.
commercial investment property.
Wow. So the more you come down for commercial, the lower the obviously you get with your
Yeah,
rate, essentially.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And the seller is like able to get a higher purchase price.
Right. To make it all work. The numbers work at that point. Oh, that's awesome.
So there
Yeah.
is a lot that can be done, provided we are not like sticking to a box of defined things that need to be met. So yeah, like if you're working with a good professional like Hil jin, I think you'll be able to set up the deal in the right way.
Right. Yeah, I appreciate that. I'll bounce that back to you too. We just like create. There's a lot of mortgage professionals. I'm an LO as well, and I've talked to LOs and I say, hey, can you make this deal work? No, you have to wait another year. I'll talk to Amish. Hey, can we make this work? Yeah, we can make this work.
Yeah.
So like you have, you work with the right professionals and things can
Yeah.
happen. You can make things happen.
Yeah, like the other one that we disclosed a month or two ago, like it was an existing appraisal. I think it took what 10, 15 days to close. We
Right.
took an existing appraisal, qualified for a conventional loan on an investment property, and I'm like, this just makes sense to me. Like if we understand behind the scenes what the lenders are thinking,
Right.
why they approve a loan or why they don't approve a loan, things just make sense.
Right. Yeah, that's why you have to work with the right professionals. Amish has a really good understanding of the whole process.
Yeah.
I don't even understand like exactly how originating loans work, to be quite honest, and I'm licensed. That's why Amish is great with making shit work.
Yeah, it just takes time. It takes a couple of years, and the fastest way to learn something in as a loan officer is understand what happens to the lender after the loan is originated. Like
Right.
how does the foreclosure work? How do the payments work? Why do they need 6 months of reserves? Why does Citibank sometimes request 18 months of reserves? What do they do with these loans? Why would they conditionally approve a loan first and then come up with new conditions? Like, and how much of those new conditions we can are wiggle rooms that we can push back and say, hey, this is this may or may not be the right thing. Just as an example, like the way the secondary markets work, As a lender, let's say I originate a loan at 7%. Everything looks good. I might be selling that note to an investor A who has specific guidelines. But investor B has slightly more stricter guidelines. They might want 12 months of reserves instead of 6 months,
Right.
but they are willing to do the loan at 6.75%.
Right.
Right? So I approved the loan at 7% for this borrower, but then I'm like, can you show me extra reserves? Because I end up making that 0.25% extra commission by selling it to a different investor instead of investor A.
Right.
I might still originate the loan at 7 to the borrower, but I make a little higher commission by selling the note to a different investor with
Right.
slightly more stricter guidelines. And when we are originating a loan and on the purchase transaction, uh, that's like those. If some random new conditions come up which don't make sense, as an originator, my goal is to get the home or the house or the property for my buyer. Like that's my goal. So I push back to the lender and say, hey, yeah, this I don't want this condition. You have approved the loan at 7. This is not required. So
Right.
it's a constant negotiation. Like, and for 15, 20, 30 days of that process, that's the back and forth. Like we might start off with 15 conditions, and a week later, when everything is good, when we have a closing date out another 15 days, the lenders might be like, let's see if we can squeeze out a little more money over here. Can you show me a 12-month reserve? And
Right.
yeah, and that's when I push back. Like that's my job, right? There's constant negotiation that's happening between the loan officer, the lender, and some things are genuine. Like some things that they might be requesting
Mm.
might make sense. It's a balancing game. It's a
Mhm.
just like in the purchase transaction, right? Like it's like the listing agent might keep asking, saying, "Can we remove the contingencies?" I think the goal is focus on what is the benefit to my client.
Right.
Like the 15, 20, 30-day period when we are in under escrow, it's brutal. It's
Yes.
there is a reason why there are very few transactions that end up happening between the seller and the buyer, because the 30-day that we think that are in progress are critical. There is a lot that a professional is doing to make the deal and bring it to the closing table, that it it's not like we are hiding something from the consumer, but we are constantly negotiating.
Right. And these are things that they don't really have to know. It's like we're just trying to make the deal work for them by
Yeah,
any means possible, right?
yeah,
So, and they don't really know a lot of these things as you mentioned. So, no,
yeah.
I'm glad you brought that to light, Amish. That's huge.
It's huge. Like that's the reason. Like the buyer and the seller, even if they are speaking with each other, everything that happens in the middle some many times breaks down because
Right.
of personalities, because of ego, because of mindset, because of decision making. That's the reason why real estate needs intermediate professionals in the middle.
100%. Yes.
Yeah,
That's that's good stuff, Amish. This is
yeah,
great.
yeah. Like just the one that we are working on right now, right? Like the one we have been thinking about it for 4 years, and
Oh my God.
without having people in the middle, I will slide out saying, hey, I think about this next month, or
Yes.
I'll think about this, or there will be a stage where I'll be like, okay, I want this to happen today,
Right.
and but is the other party at that same state of mind?
Yeah. No, I agree. I think, and just from my experience, that's the hardest part about being a real estate agent is there's so many variables that you just can't control.
Yeah,
And it gets kind of scary, but once you get kind of seasoned in the business and you understand how things work, and then you have your mindset in a way where you could almost detach
yeah,
yourself from certain deals. That's what I felt. I felt like I started to really take off in my own kind of skill set as a real estate agent was when I was just able to not, you know, that's going to happen. Let this happen, and when I will cross
it's
that bridge when it gets there. But as long as you just have to understand to, gosh, just detach, right? Amish, is that?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, yeah, and what else would you share with like consumers that are like both buyers and sellers right now? Like, what would you tell them? what should they do to prepare as a buyer to buy a house or as a seller to sell a property? Like, what are you seeing right now for this month?
Yeah, I think this is the time to, if you are in a position where you need to buy or in a position to sell, start getting the ball rolling now.
Mm-hmm.
Because the market's going to start to heat up next. It's already heating up, but next year it's going to start to be, you're going to be in the middle of the fire next year. So
Yeah.
just have to get started.
Yeah, because the demand has been around forever. It's just people are either exhausted or not making the right decision, thinking rates are going to go down and prices are going to fall. I don't think that's going to happen. Rates might go down, prices might just go higher because
Right.
what people are really buying is a monthly payment. They don't really realize they are really buying a loan more than the house.
Right.
But if they qualify for a $10,000 payment, that's what they are really buying, right?
Hmm. Exactly.
Now the question is, can like Hil jin and I can like come together and figure out a way to structure it so that the 10,000 payment means a $3 million house or a $2 million house.
Yeah. Yeah, that's absolutely right. And I think that's another, next week we need to start talking, or next time, or we need to break down those numbers so
Yeah,
consumers could actually understand what you mean when you say that, Amish.
yeah,
That's huge.
yeah.
That's great.
Makes sense. Yeah, so I think this was really good. It was just very, very insightful on like it's just some deep dive into what happens behind the scenes
Right.
of a transaction. So this was really cool.
I enjoyed it, Amish. I learned a lot.
Yeah, and I think we should do more of these deep dives, saying, and maybe like one scenario, saying what we can do. Just an FYI, I did get certified. Just a little pitch of my accomplishment, what kept me busy for the last 6 months. I know like a lot of people believe in Vastu, which is like directions of the house and the placements of things inside the house. I did
Mm,
qualify as a certified Vastu consultant now. So if somebody is looking for a little bit insight, right, of like uh, like what the house should be in, like some people believe in it, some people don't. Honestly, I'm like, if you do believe in it and if you do, just it's like a second opinion, right? That shouldn't be the one that decides and makes your decision. But if you do need any help with that, I'm available to do that extra free consult and like give a little more insight of like the uh, different aspects of buying.
dude, that's huge. Yeah, that added value to all your clients by getting that cert. That's great, Amish.
Yeah, because and it feels good, right? To like get people. It's a service, right? Like somebody that I bought, I was helping. They were like, oh, the temple in the house should face in a specific direction, and I told them and they were like not going to rent a place, and I gave them insights saying, hey, theoretically, this is what the theory says. What you believe, what you do is up to you. Like you can do
Mm,
what you want, but and then they went back and they checked, oh yes, and they were like, oh yeah, that is actually true. I didn't have enough information, so now I actually want to buy this place, and it makes sense. This is actually the right way to do it, and so they were actually more happy with their decision.
right.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great, Amish. Always learning and always adding value. That's what
Yeah,
it is.
especially because if we are in this industry, like if you're building homes, we are making it's memorable for people, right? We want them to be happy. That happiness takes a higher priority over all this knowledge and everything. If you're happy without doing by being in a home that doesn't theoretically meet any requirements, that's more important. Just be happy.
Right. 100%.
Yeah.
That's good
Cool.
stuff, Amish.
Sounds great. So yeah, that kept me nice and busy for last 5 or 6 months. So looking forward to use some of that knowledge for anybody that does wants a second opinion.
Yeah. Huge. Good community for that too. Good stuff.
Yeah, yeah. Sounds great. Thanks. Thanks a lot, Helgen. This was really cool.
Yes, I agree. Thank you, Amish. I appreciate it.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.
That's a wrap on today's episode of Main Street Minds. Want to share your journey with our audience? Head over to mainstreetmindspodcast.com/guest to apply.